More than 40 people have been killed in a blast at a security checkpoint in northwest Pakistan's Swat Valley. About 45 people were injured. The blast is the latest in a string of attacks in the country. Pakistan plans to launch an attack against insurgents in South Waziristan. Intelligence agents consider the area to have been a haven for Islamic militants who have launched attacks in Pakistan and targeted U.S. forces in Afghanistan.
3 Iranian protesters have been sentenced to death for joining the huge demonstrations that followed the country's flawed election. A major Iranian news agency says the 3 are linked to anti-Iranian opposition groups. Authorities will not say who the condemned people are, but it is believed that a prominent opposition leader was the first to be sentenced. The 3 can appeal to a higher court. International rights groups are urging Iran to lift the death sentences. More than 100 election protesters have been tried in Iranian courts.
The last of this year's Nobel Prizes have been awarded to 2 American economists. One of them, the first woman to win in that field. Dr. Oliver Williamson and Eleanor Ostrom earned the honors, and all 11 of the 13 prizes went to Americans this year. Some experts say the awards are political, but others say it's a testament to America's diversity, as 4 of the first 6 winners this year were not born in America.
School is back in session for students in college across California. But this will be a difficult year for students and the schools as they deal with unprecedented budget cuts. And as Alan Carter reports, at one Cal State University, the impact of those cuts is being felt in the journalism department.
At first glance, CSU Dominguez Hills is just like any other Cal State University, with students, classrooms, and athletics. But the school does have one distinction that sets it apart. It is now without a student newspaper.
We canceled the class, which at the time I think had 5 or 6 students enrolled in it, and went ahead and canceled the paper at least for this semester.
Wetmore says the Bulletin, the school's twice-monthly newspaper, had to be shut down to save money. He says the paper wasn't getting any money from the school and had been funded through the president's office.
So we didn't have the money to pay for salaries, to pay for the printing. So it wasn't even a question of, can you just go online? You need someone to teach the class, to teach the students how to write for a newspaper, and they didn't even have the money for that.
But now it's the students who suffer. Michael Marquez wanted to take the class and write for the Bulletin.
If for no other reason, just being practiced, being sharpened, to have my writing chops up all the time. It's kind of hard to do that on my own, but without assignments, without a medium to be published in, it's really kind of worthless.
And he says not only does it hurt him, but also the other students will miss out on campus information.
Now, not to have a newspaper kind of leaves everyone in the dark. So that means if you weren't there, you don't know anything about it. You just hear third hand, but other than that, you have no hard news about what's going on here.
The Dominguez Hills Bulletin was last published on May 13th. This semester's cancellation brings an end to an over 30-year history of the paper here at the school, at least for now. One of the ideas being talked about is bringing the paper back, but in an online version. At Cal State Dominguez Hills in Carson, I'm Alan Carter for Valley View News.
2 students say they prevented an attempted kidnapping close to the CSUN campus on Wednesday night. The victim was a young woman who was walking to her car. According to witnesses, they heard a scream, and when they ran outside their home, saw a man standing over the victim. When they asked if everything was okay, they said the man drove off in a black SUV. The suspect had been described as about 6 feet tall and skinny. The victim was taken to the hospital and treated for injuries. Campus authorities said they are investigating and did not initially confirm the witnesses' report.
Find out what one local charity is doing to put low-income families into homes they never could have dreamed of. More on that story when we return.
The recession is the worst since the Great Depression and is affecting the business of retail stores everywhere. Shiva Gazemzada reports on how one Calabasas retailer is coping.
The city of Calabasas, best known for its upper-class neighborhood, is even having trouble bringing in business to keep the local boutiques open. Shop owner Dawn Spillman opened Leap Shoe Lounge 6 years ago before she had to shut it down in June due to drastic decrease in sales.
The store started off the first 2 or 3 years doing really, really well because I had, a lot of the more popular brands that everybody wanted. And then as the economy took a downturn, people just weren't shopping as much, and I wasn't seeing all of my ladies that, spent a lot of money. Everybody's scared to do anything.
Because of the recession, money's tight, so people are buying what they need rather than what they want. The smart shoppers are out looking for bargains.
Many boutiques in the area, including Dash, are trying to stay in business by attracting customers with huge sales. Dash Boutique has also adjusted to tough times by adding new items that are reasonably priced to keep customers coming back. Store employee Brittany Minton says surviving in retail is really about maintaining good relationships with customers and keeping them happy.
So we are a small boutique, but in the location that we're in, we have the same clientele coming in over and over, and over the past few years we've built a relationship with them. We just have good customer service, and I think that at the end of the day, that especially in a recession, that's where people are going to trust to go to.
Spillman has since reinvented her shoe boutique idea, transforming her old space into Leap Wine Lounge, a place for the locals to socialize over a glass of wine. From Calabasas, Shiva Qasimzadeh for Valley View News.
House prices may be dropping, but they remain too high for some. A well-known organization is working on building reasonably priced homes for those struggling with money. Valley View's Andrea Solano has the story.
Habitat for Humanity of the San Fernando-Santa Clarita Valleys is working to transform lives and communities for working families in Pacoima. This is the biggest project west of the Mississippi for Habitat for Humanity, providing 60 families in Pacoima with home ownership and social support. Javier Ortega is one of the lucky recipients that will be moving into what he and his family can now call home.
Nice feeling, be able to spend out some holidays by myself with my family.
Ortega, his wife, and 2 children are going from a crammed 1-bedroom apartment to a 3-bedroom duplex. Ortega said in his group of applicants, only 11 out of 400 were chosen. In order to qualify, families must be legal to work in the U.S. and be able to prove employment. One of the houses in progress is being sponsored by KTLA and is called the Happy Home Project. Job Superintendent Tim Hayes says Habitat has been around for a long time helping those in need.
They're built for the low-income families around the area that live and work in this area.
Habitat projects are not done by construction workers alone. Many people come out to volunteer and give a helping hand. This Ventura County couple, wishing to remain anonymous, came to dedicate their time to what they know is a good cause.
The way we serve people that need our help, right, by building these houses and for the less fortunate.
This portion of Happy Homes is expected to be completed by November 2009, giving these families a brand new home just in time for the holidays. In Pacoima, I'm Andrea Solano for Valley View News.
Now here's Natanya Levine with the latest in sports, and hopefully she has good news about some of those CSUN teams.
The Cal State Northridge women's soccer team has pulled out a tough 1-0 match against UC Davis in overtime. Junior forward Farron Townley scored the goal on a pass from freshman midfielder Melissa Fernandez. Matador freshman goalkeeper Cynthia Jacobo made her first career start and made 5 saves for her first shutout and victory. The win in Davis was the first for the Matadors since the 2004 season. The CSUN women's volleyball team has earned its first Big West Conference win. The women did it with a 4-set victory over UC Riverside. Senior outside hitter Angela Hupp and junior outside hitter Brittany Williams led the way for Northridge with 12 kills each. Freshman outside hitter Brittany Graff added 11 kills and 10 digs. The win snapped the Matadors' 5-game losing streak. The Los Angeles Angels are going to the ALCS after coming from behind in dramatic fashion to defeat the Boston Red Sox in Fenway Park. Bobby Abreu singles off closer Jonathan Papelbon in the top of the 9th. Eric Ibar scores, but it's still 6-5 Boston. Then designated hitter Vladimir Guerrero singles to drive in 2. The Angels hold on to win 7-6. It was the first postseason sweep for the Angels and came against a team that knocked them out of the playoffs the previous 4 years.